Hey guys, it's Anthony Tejada, your local Orlando Realtor.
In Jose Mercado.
And today we're doing a live video. It was a testing ground here, so bear with us. But today we're going to talk about a couple reasons of what can go wrong with new construction. And that's going to be our discussion for today, and then maybe go into some other things.
So for today we have 10 bullet points that we're gonna talk about. The number 10, we're gonna start from number 10 and we're going down. Is the builder doesn't want your inspector. There's sometimes we ask our client to have an inspector and do every time they do any phase of the house to have an inspector going to the new construction and inspect the area. I know the builder have their own inspection and also the community or the how do you call it,
Well,
when they come for the city,
yeah,
from the city,
the county.
the county have
Right.
the inspector to continue with the construction. We also recommend to have your own inspector. Most of the time, the builder doesn't let the inspector go in.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And we're going to go down the list. This is no particular order. So one of the things that stands out for me is escalation clause that is put in the contract by the builder in this market. Now, historically, the escalation clause has always been there. Now, to explain what that is basically the builder saying to you within the contract, hey, listen, if materials and all the pricing that we did for the home do not add up and we don't make a profit, we're gonna kind of, even though we have this price in the contract, we're gonna raise that up a little bit so that we can make a profit. And it's built into the contract. A lot of people don't realize it. And it's never really been used, but now that this market is what it is, builders are actually taking advantage of that point in their contracts. So there are some builders out there that are, telling people when they sit down with them and say, look, there might be a price increase within the contract period, and we're just letting you know up front that this is what is happening now.
And also, it's a good point. They also took advantage of the COVID-19. When the
Right.
COVID-19 hit,
Right.
everything stopped. So the material was slowing down. There's no employers in there to take because there were material, but there were no people to work. So that way they took advantage of that, and then it was offered taking that in consideration for the clients.
Yep.
The other one that we have is a longer time. Once again, since COVID hit, they taking a longer time now to have, if it's wood, if it's employers, sometimes they don't have employees on it.
Right.
All right. So they have 2 years per contract. They're using that also. We
Right.
have 2 years per contract for finish your house.
Right. Yeah, and that was baked into the contract since an inception. As long as I've been on a realtor, I've always seen it in the contract that it says, look, that the builder has 2 years to complete your home before you can ask for your money back. And it's been crazy. Nobody's ever seen that happen, but it's still there to protect themselves from who knows what happening, COVID. There's a lot of things that happened this year that never happened before. So, they had these things built in there so that it can protect them on the back end. And now you might see some of those things taking, like it's a year out now for a build. So we're getting really close than before. Before COVID, pre-COVID, we had, I don't know, like
Like 6 to 8.
6 to 8 months before you can, before you saw the house. And now that's pushed out to a year. So that's one of the good points.
And continue from there. They also, if the house is almost done, sometimes if it's a light fixture that's missing,
Mhm.
or there's some doors that's missing, they also have a clause in there they want you to sign, or they ask you to sign, hey, we can close it early if you want the house early, or if you want to wait a couple more months to see if we can get those like light fixtures on the
Yep.
door, right? But if you want to close earlier, sign in here, and then when we get the parts or the pieces of the house, we're gonna deliver to you.
Right.
That's another
Right.
thing that's happening right now.
Yeah, like with the appliances, that's a big thing. Like they give you a replacement or a loaner fridge or a loaner stove because the appliance companies are just not meeting demand right now.
But that one is funny, the appliance, because sometimes you sign up and they have a General Electric, and all of a sudden they give you another brand.
Right.
If you want to finish the house, this is the brand. I'm talking about experience because I
Yeah.
have a house. I have like a what is it? The chef, not the
The-
chef. What the kitchen?
The
The gourmet.
the gourmet
gourmet
kitchens,
kitchen.
yeah.
Apple have gourmet kitchen, and all of a sudden they change the whole gourmet kitchen because they don't have what's it can
The convection oven.
instead of the convection
Yeah.
oven, and also on top of the stove,
Yeah.
they put the thing that
The vent, yeah, the steel vent that goes out to the house.
Yeah, so they put a microwave in there. They say,
Right.
well, if we want to finish, we're not gonna get that. Let's sign in here. We're gonna put a microwave in there.
Right.
But
So,
the price is still the same. It's not gonna change.
wait a minute. See, so that's crazy because a lot of people upgrade that item, and what Jose is saying is usually the base item. So then to come back and get a builder to come to you and say, look, we're going to give you the base item, but we're still going to charge you for the gourmet
It's
kitchen.
gonna stay the same. So they change the vent for the microwave, and they give you 2 ovens on the side, and they even they continue. It's a gourmet kitchen. It comes with that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and number 6 that I've always seen is in this market right now, what is it when you were close to a home, it's not when you want to close your home, it's not actually ready to close. You just spoke
Yeah, that's
about
what we
that.
talked about that, yeah.
So so we'll go to the next point. Builder has 2 years to complete home. Yeah, we wrote that. We got that. We're just catching up. We have our notes here.
The more money down now.
Yes, the more money down. Yes.
Right now they're asking for more money most of the time. Sometimes it was like 3%, I believe, or sometimes 2%. Now they're asking from 5 or
10%.
Some 10%.
Yeah.
Percent down.
So historically, sometimes like again C word, you would get builders asking maybe for 1% down, even 1,000 to 2,500 to start the process of the home, and now we got all the way to 10%. You got people dropping 40 grand, 30 grand on a home just to start the process, right? And so from what we're used to historically, that has gone up.
Oh, another thing is that not even starting, it's just you give that money, and sometimes you don't see the house starting 3 months down the road.
Yeah.
That's the biggest that we have it right now. There's some houses there's some communities that start selling, pre-selling,
right,
and in 6 months down the road, you raise $40,000 in there, and you don't see not even one block in your house.
Yeah.
That's another thing that we have.
Right now. And that again, it goes back to the supply chain being broken, waiting on a lot of items. I know right now I have a couple contracts pending, and what's the holdup is windows, roof struts, and PVC piping and appliances. Those are some of the things that are holding up the build out of a lot of these homes.
Yeah, well, one of the things, and also the things that we recover, that's why it's good for you to have a realtor. So that way you take the headache out,
right.
We take care of that, we control, we want you to keep working, right? And don't worry about that, we want to take care of that.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things is the reason for having a realtor is setting the expectation. You don't want to go through this market blindly, right? And just kind of sell in the dark until you get your house. Everybody's happy when they get the house, regardless if you waited a year or if you waited 6 months. But the thing is the comfortability within those months, having a realtor who knows the market, having them navigate you from point A to point B, it makes a lot of difference. Less stress, like Jose is explaining, on you, and just that your quality of life within those months. We're there to take the brunt, let you know what's turning and twisting in the market at the moment and every turn, so that you can sit back, have a glass of wine, and understand that, all right, Anthony, Jose got my back. They're letting me know by the minute what is happening. It's not that anybody wants to do me bad. It's just that at the moment, this is what's happening in the country. Supply chains are not what they used to be, and this is how we're going to shift and pivot so that we can get to the completion line.
Yeah. And it's not having us, even though if you have another realtor, make sure that the realtor is, have you covered,
right,
and is answering you the questions.
Right.
When you go to the builder, sometimes you have that person in there, but you don't know if that person is going to be there.
Right. Right.
When you have the sales rep, you can walk in, you can sign up your contract, and then after that, sometimes they don't know nothing about the construction.
Yeah, just make sure that your realtor, whoever it is that you're using, is a person that is a new construction specialist, that knows the players in the market, meaning the builders, right? You got to know the players, right? It's like a lawyer. When they go to court, they know the county clerk, they know who's on the other side, they know the judge. You got to know the players in the market so that you have an advantage and have leverage when you go and you buy these things.
Now they also in nowadays in the market is just the waiting list,
Right.
the famous waiting list. You
That's
go,
a
they
big
want
one.
you to do a pre-qualification,
Right.
put you in the list. Sometimes if you're lucky, you have only 8 people waiting.
Right.
Sometimes it's like 200 people waiting, and then in the meantime, you have to be pre-qualified with them
Right.
to be in the list.
Right. And what that is, that to me, what that is shaped out to be is that the builder is just hedging their bets, right? They're just making sure that when they're ready on their timeline, they have somebody who can purchase the house. And it's
Yep.
not necessarily a customer service thing because unfortunately we are in a seller's market. So with the builders, I'm not talking bad about anybody. It's just with their strategy at the moment is just there's not really much customer service going on. It's more about who is ready and when they fit our timeline so that we can provide a house for that person. And unfortunately, this is the systematic way that they use the waiting list to achieve that method.
And the funny part is they use the same list
Right.
to use you to do a bid.
Right.
Hey, I have eight people on front, but they put $5,000 more than you.
Right.
If you want the house,
And
you
that's
have to put a little more.
yeah, and that's the funniest thing that I've seen because it's like you're buying a new construction house, but it's almost like you're in the resale market. Like they're making you bid on the house, right? So you're like, wait a minute. So why didn't I just go to resale? Why didn't I just? I mean, there are plus and minuses about it, but at the end you get a brand new house, so there is that plus, right?
That's a
But
plus.
still, it's like being in the resale market. It's like, hey, client A, client B, client C. The house is up for sale. Who's going to give me the best dollar? And it's the same thing.
Another thing that we see is using the list,
Mm-hmm.
using the bidding, and also at the end, it said, well, if you wait, the price is gonna increase.
Yeah, yeah, and then the other thing that we're seeing now, and this is everybody knows this. Even if you're just searching on Zillow and seeing the prices weekly, every 3 sales that a builder achieves in this market, they raise the price, right? So imagine when this market started, like the beginning of last summer, every 3 sales any builder was doing, they were raising their price for that per community that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they made 3 sales. It was 3 sales, boom, 3 sales, boom, 3 sales, boom, 3 sales. So that's why I get a lot of calls from my buyers up north. They're like, what is going on down there? It's like last month I looked, and this month it's like $20,000 more for the house. What's going on? And that's the reason, because the builder is doing their sales and they're going, you know what? We got a price increase. We got a price increase. We got a price increase. So we got to keep an eye for that. Hopefully that flattens out with time, and we're at a steady market price. But unfortunately, at the moment, those are the things that we're looking at now. Having a new construction specialist like me and Jose, we will know where to find your budget in the area. There are still builders that are doing homes for less money than what those builders are selling 3333. And then if you open up, here's a pro tip: the best time to get into a community and a nice home is when that community first opens, because that's when they're going to have their lowest price. Because remember, it goes per community, and every 3 sales, boom, boom, boom. So get in early.
By the time you
And
move
get in
in,
fast.
you already have
Equity in your home. So
Already equity.
yeah, it's a market where if you take advantage and be advantageous, you're going to benefit.
Well, another thing, and in that aspect, also, if we have a realtor, if you have a realtor, and you say a specific, what do you want a specific?
Mhm.
And I want to have this, and this, and this, and I need an area like this. We concentrate in the area and looking at your specification, what do you want in your house?
Right.
But when you see the house, if it's new, don't wait 3-4 months in the road, because probably you're not gonna find it.
Right.
And not even at the price. Probably when we come back, if they have 3 sales,
Right.
and we just leave on Thursday and come back on Saturday, probably there's $20,000 more or $5,000 more.
And that's so true, because a couple months ago, what I had in the situation was there was a customer of mine. She wanted a home. She looked at a home, and then within that home, she was deciding if it was too, like, just touching the top of her budget. And what ended up happening was she's like, I'm going to take a break. And then when she came back, she was priced out. She couldn't afford that home. So she had to go to a whole completely different area to get a home that fit her needs. And that's why, I mean, those, sometimes it sounds salesy and we're pushing, is that we want the best outcome for you. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we want you to be in the home that you want at the price range you want.
In the area that you like.
And then area you like. So that you don't get priced out, because we see it. A brand new community opens, everybody's hot and bothered about it and they want to be in there. But then you think on it, and I know it's one of the things you have to think on. And you ultimately, that one moment that you have to think on it, you get priced out, and it's a shame.
Once again, we can keep an eye on that. If you have a realtor, if you don't have a realtor, it would be good to have a good realtor. So my name is Jose Mercado.
Anthony Tejada.
And we are the Home Agent Group.
All right. See you guys
See you
soon.
next time.
Bye. Hey.